Hi guys, this is Ollie here from iwillteachyoualanguage.com. This video is about my 1-month Cantonese progress video that I posted about a week or so ago. I've had a number of questions about basically asking about how I've gone about it and what I've done. There's going to be a detailed blog post to follow probably after maybe the 3-month point, but I thought I'd record some basic pointers here for the sake of posterity. Now you can probably tell from the video that I'm obviously at the early stages. I'm struggling to find vocabulary. I'm thinking a lot. None of it is automated. I'm really searching around for words. I'm probably getting some tones wrong, but I hope that I can at least convey basic meaning and talk about the topics that I'm familiar with, even at this sort of early stage. So far so good. There's a long way to go, obviously. What I've done, let me talk about how I got to this stage. I've done essentially, well, my inputs come from 3 places. Number 1, I started working through the FSI Cantonese course, which is available online. I'll post the link below. It's all for free, developed by the American Foreign Service in the 40s and 50s, I think, for foreign servicemen. It's a free course using the audiolingual method, and it's effective for certain things. I won't get into it now. I've been working my way through that slowly. And I've also been using a subscription service called Learn Cantonese 101. I think that's what it's called, at least. Cantonese 101. Yeah, CantoneseClass101.com. I should remember the name, really. So I've been using these 2, and there's a very specific reason that I've been using these 2 resources, which is that they are based around dialogues, recorded dialogues that come with the script. So you can listen to a conversation, and the conversations get gradually more difficult as the level goes on. And then you can go back. With the lesson notes, you can read the script. Now, the disadvantage of the FSI course is that it's all Romanized. At best, it's an approximation. The tones are not really indicated, other than in a gestural way. But it's, for getting the basic sounds, it's okay, because you're using the audio. With Learn Cantonese 101, the great thing about this course, this resource, is that not only do you have the conversations recorded in dialogues and the transcripts, but you've got the transcripts in both traditional Chinese characters, in the Yutping system, which has the tones indicated in numbers, and also the English translation. This is absolutely crucial, because what it allows you to do, in both cases, the Learn Cantonese 101 and FSI, it allows you to not only hear the dialogue, but also go through it, slow down the process, look at the words one by one, read it, reread it, listen, a circular process as many times as you need, so you can actually go back and do it at your own pace. Those are the 2 resources for input that I've been using. The third is I've been having regular sessions with a native speaker. Now, I won't call these lessons, because they're not lessons in the traditional sense. If you want more information about how I go about this and why this is important, go to the blog. It's all there. But essentially, my approach is to sit with the native speaker and try and say stuff. It's as simple as that. And obviously, at the early stages, it's a pretty painstaking process, but it's all part of the learning curve. So my approach is to sit down with a native speaker for an hour, and I essentially say, how do I say this? Well, I try and say it If I can't, I will ask them, how do I say this? They tell me, write it down, say it over and over, and then carry on and try and talk. That way I get feedback on my production. If you only use audio courses, you get no feedback on your production. I want to be speaking from the start, and I want to get tips and instant feedback on everything I'm saying, on the vocabulary, maybe some grammar points, and crucially for Cantonese, on my tones. And I think that's why my tones are the tones that I'm producing are reasonably accurate at this stage, simply because I've been asking explicitly for this feedback. Okay, so these are the three systems that I've been using. Now, there is a fourth element to this, which is beyond a doubt the most important part, and that is, with all of these systems, I mix between them. I mix between the FSI, the Learn Cantonese, and the time with the native speaker, because essentially, if I don't do that, I get bored. It's as simple as that. I've got to stay motivated. Got to do the stuff that interests you. If I just do one of these, I get bored really quickly. Now, using these, what I do is I take the vocabulary that I learn and I focus all my energies on learning the vocabulary. When you're beginning in a language, there's only essentially one thing that matters, and that is your vocabulary. Without words, you can't say anything. It doesn't matter how good your grammar is, how good your pronunciation is. You need to build a critical mass of vocabulary. That's priority number one. So what I do is I take these courses, or I take the information that I get from the native speaker, and all this vocabulary goes straight into a spaced repetition system, all on this. It's a bit painstaking inputting it, but what I tend to do actually with a new word is actually just, rather than write it down, I just input it straight away on the app, and then it's recorded. Important to bear in mind, single words on their own don't go in there. Words always within phrases. So, for example, if if the word dog comes up, you don't put the word dog in there. You put in a sentence such as I like dogs, or I have a dog. Again, if you want more information about this or the reason behind this, head to the blog. I'll put the links below. And then, in order to take in this much vocabulary in a short amount of time, there's nothing for it. You just have to practice it. And this is where the beauty of the spaced repetition system comes in, because it works. The whole thing operates based on how well you tell the system you know the language. Again, more on the blog. My personal routine is before bed and when I wake up. I find that the moments before you go to sleep and straight away when you wake up, there's something about the haziness of it all which actually seems to make my brain absorb the language. I've heard a lot of other people say this as well, so it's definitely worth giving it a try. I couldn't say for how long I do it, but I'd say at least 5-10 minutes, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, going over the vocabulary using my spaced repetition system app. The one I like to use is called flashcards. You can use anything that works. So the basic pattern here is using some resource. It could be a book, it could be a CD, for your input, talking to a native speaker, producing language and getting feedback, and capturing all of the vocabulary and language that comes out of that and sticking it in a system that will help you to memorize it. That's what I've done in the space of just over 4 weeks, and that's basically it. Let's see if I can keep up the momentum. From now on, what I'm doing is basically more of the same. Got to build up my vocabulary. I'm going to start moving on to longer texts so I can get slightly more exposure to language, and also spend a bit more time watching some movies. I love Hong Kong films; they're great fun to watch, and great for that all important listening practice. So that's it. For more, please head over to iwillteachyoualanguage.com, and there are regular articles on all kinds of topics about language learning, and you can also follow my progress in Cantonese over there. Cheers!